Hello, family. What's going on? Today, I'm going to do a quick stream. I'm going to talk about the geopolitics and its effect on cryptocurrency. Uh, believe everyone knows what's going on in the world right now. We have inflation, we have a war, we have economic sanction, and also we know the Joe Biden and his government try to regulate a cryptocurrency. So all those events have an effect on cryptocurrency. So today I'm going to discuss about the different about this topic and a different factor that will influence crypto. I'm going to show you a few articles that talk about this factor. So give me one moment. Okay, so the first article is about um, the digital currency. If you read the title, US e-cash bill proposes a digital currency that replicate cash bypass the Fed. United States House bill proposes a treasury issue hardware secure and anonymous form of digital cash. The Electronic Currency and Secure Act e-cash Act, introduced today in the United States House of Representatives, could herald a new direction in government-sponsored digital currency. The legislation called for the U.S. Secretary of Treasury to develop and pilot an electronic version of the U.S. dollar that is easy to use for economically marginalized or technically challenged. It will also maximize the consumer protection and data privacy, according to its principal sponsor, Representative Stephen Lynch, chair of the FinTech Task Force in the U.S. Financial Service Committee. Interesting eCash, it's called, will be issued by the U.S. Treasury Department, not the Federal Reserve Board, which means it will technically not be a central bank digital currency (CBDC), nor will it be built on blockchain or require the internet to operate. Okay, I will stop there because um, this article basically explains uh, United States, the U.S. Treasury Department want to develop and implement a digital currency. Uh, Basically, to understand the fiat currency, US dollar or Canadian dollar or pesos, ruble, all those currency, the fiat currency, are dying, and they want to implement a digital currency. Uh, the problem I see with that, it will not use the blockchain technology, and we know one of the strength of blockchain technology, it's not it's decentralized technology, meaning uh, the technology does not belong to anyone. Uh, it's work as a community, basically, and no one have full control of the technology. But with the digital dollar is different because the government, the bank will still have a control. And a lot of crypto addicts like the concept of decentralized technology with blockchain and cryptocurrency. That for crypto addict, that's a big problem. Hold on a second, let me. Okay, let's read another article. Now, this article, Russia looked to bolster its Bitcoin and crypto mining industry amid war in Ukraine. Russia appeared keen to foster its Bitcoin, BTC, and crypto mining sector. It appeared to have asserted that sanctions imposed due to Russian invasion of Ukraine will not impede their ability to continue mining token. However, the long legal struggle for legalization is continuing despite the intervention of some of the nation's most senior politicians. Renam reported that Oleg Olgivenchuk, a director of BitRiver, the largest operator of crypto mining data processing center in Eurasia, had announced that supply of equipment for the cryptocurrency mining to Russia will not be suspended. Oligo claimed that international sanctions will in no way affect the, the import of mining equipment. Although the logistics used to import mining rig and other hardware may be subject to change. TASS, which also report on the development, state that Bit River executive was speaking at the first ever meeting of all Russian legal cryptocurrency miners, something of an oxymoron as a crypto mining still does not have a legal status in Russia. At the event of legal unveil, Bitriver planned to open a new data center, likely a crypto mining farm in the Irkutsk region. Olegenko was quoted as explaining that the center would have a capacity of more than 80 mega million of watt and would provide at least 63 jobs in Minsk nearby that area. He also claimed that customers from various countries would be able to install their equipment in their new facility, include those from Russia, Asian countries, as well as European countries and USA perhaps, possibly in a post-conflict world. The center is expected to open sometime this year. Okay, uh, I wish to make a comment on this article. Well, it's obvious some oligarch or billionaire plan to implemented data center in Russia, but that will they're gonna do that probably after the war, so maybe at the end of the year or next year. And also, we don't know if the economic sanction will affect the delivery of material. And we also know some country like Venezuela, Turkey, uh, and even China had different issue. If we take the example of China, China banned crypto and the money from move to different country, but people are still buying Bitcoin, so that's not a problem. We also know lately, last month or maybe 2 months ago, Turkey, their fiat currency collapsed. Therefore, a lot of the citizens invest their money in crypto. Now, with Russia, with the economic sanction, a lot of people already uh, putting their money in crypto. And also, I know Russia um, is considering to use Bitcoin to buy to buy to buy some material with Bitcoin. So for all those reasons, for the next few weeks and months, more people will go to crypto. And we know also there are people try to escape economic sanction with crypto. And we also know there's a lot of inflation. So okay, let's read another article. Okay, let's look. Well, that's a similar article. Already read an article regarding the creation of digital dollars. So I guess I'll find another article. Okay. Okay. Um, this article explains the inflation is much higher than uh, the number they advertise. Okay, let me read this article quickly. It's not exactly a secret that the real world inflation is a lot higher than the official rate. The consumer price index (CPI) and personal consumption expanded (PCE). As many observers have pointed out, there are two primary flaws in the official measure of inflation: big-ticket expense such as rent, healthcare, higher education expense that run into $2,000 or $10,000 annually are sadly underweight or misreported, while rent are ignored, with CPI used as a misleading measure of housing costs. Owner equivalent rent, why not just measure actual rent pay and actual mortgage/property tax or insurance premium pay? Now we have a graph that represents the consumer price index component. You can see the food and beverage close to 15%. We see the housing around 43%, 42.63. That power about 3%, transportation is about 15%, healthcare about 8.5%, recreation about 5.6%, education and communication about 6.9%, auto goods and services about 3.1%. But but what we can see with the economic sanction and also the problem with supply chain we experienced the last 12 months with the COVID economic crisis. Uh, the price or the inflation is higher, and now with the economic sanction, things are getting worse. One, because of the price of the oil and gas rise. Two, because we know Russia and Ukraine produce a lot of grain crop, and that also will have an effect on the food industry. Now, if we look at this article, let's see the major flaw in the CPI reading. One is the housing is not actual rent pay or mortgage payment. Two, healthcare is 18% of the nation economy (GDP), only 8.5 of CPI. And three, higher education costs for those who pay them are much larger than 6.9%. Healthcare is 18% of GDP, but only 8.5% of CPI. Though those exposed to actual costs of healthcare 8.5 of CPI is a joke. The same can be said for higher education. Most households paying tuition and other college costs are exposed to around this high rate of inflation as demonstrated in the short. Let's look at the short. So, what the short for the 20 year from 1996 to 2016, and that's prior to the COVID crisis and the economic backlash regarding the economic sanction against Russia. So it's far worse. Well, that's a whole article, but I think everyone understands the concept. So now it's much worse for the two reasons already mentioned, but we will not spend too much time on this article. But I think you understand, you get the picture, and you understand what's going on. Hmm. Okay, so now let's watch something. Let's read something else. Okay, let's read this article. The end of the petrodollar and the rise of the petro yuan. The end of the petrodollar and the rise of the petro yuan. A petrodollar is the US dollar obtained through the sale of crude oil. It's a term created particularly to describe the situation of the OPEC country where the sale of this commodity allows his nation to prosper and reinvest it in US dollar in the nation which purchases the US dollar is one of those unofficial accents of which the world energetical, geopolitical, and financial economic system. Any change in the system by default will generate significant effect, not just in price but also at the geopolitical economic level. Nevertheless, some dismiss this effect as mere truffle, while others claim them to be cataclysmic. For me, the truth lies somewhere in between. All fear of death and getting away with it. Imagine the scenario: you are a very wealthy individual with many property and prestige, but you really have no free money in your bank account. You spend it all, but you still want that new Ferrari. What do you do? Well, you could write a check, yes, that check is worthless in nature since you have no free money to back it up. But so as long as the car dealer does a payment, you want to pay it. And meanwhile, you have a free Ferrari. The question is, how do you prevent the dealer from cashing and check? That's a good question. Well, if you own the gasoline station in the region and you claim the gasoline now has to be paid using my check, the dealer now must keep a stock of your check so you can keep writing them and enjoy a free ride across the entire region. You can buy anything you want and put in your tab account there as long you have a check to write and people need to check to get the gasoline. But what will happen to you if people no longer need your check to buy gasoline? The part of the petrodollar. This is a long, complex topic, so forgive me any oversimplification you may encounter. After the world economic need rebuilding, countries are armed to use what is known as the Bretton Woods system, whereas IMF was born in which defines some reserve currency. Tying the currency to gold as a fixed rate and lowering the amount of gold reserve and position after the war made the US the de facto reserve currency. This state of affairs lasted until 1971, but after it collapsed, the US dollar became a fiat currency. Its value does not arise from the material it sits on, like the paper printed on. It arises from good content, pure faith, but especially for need to use a specific currency to make a special purchase. So now the US could pursue any number of expansions possible, but to avoid the side effect, you need to stimulate the demand for the US. You need to come to all and use US as we've seen in the Ferrari example. What better way to give value to currency than a price commodity every country needed with every country need at this stage made the best strategy option for the US, but the OPEC, which was created in 1960, could effectively annihilate this US strategy. This could not be so. After the Yom Kippur War, the US levied the US portion of the currency and would tie with Saudi Arabia. And so the petrodollar alliance was formed in exchange for American military and political support for the ruling Saudi house. The Arab Kingdom will use its leverage in the OPEC to ensure all transactions will come in US dollar. It will reinvest on petrol, dollar and US product and service. It will regulate price level if any. It will prevent any oil embargo from happening. As a result, all exporting nations must receive US dollar, which makes their national income depend on the US value. If the US fails to do, the country will win. Therefore, if the oil importer were to somehow undermine the US to make the oil purchase cheaper, the supplier would have to react, even Fellow grant them some depth belief may seem artificial and basis, but the system work wonders. Geopolitical is maintain the US status as the world's reserve currency par excellence, therefore theoretically is not the current threat to undermine the US dollar. US used this data to push their foreign policy agenda, but in the economic realm where British allowed the country to constantly run an account deficit by issuing US the main asset, very low rate of interest to economic hegemony. Okay, so I'll skip to the next part. An agreement between China and Russia. Although it is one of the world's largest U.S. rivals, China has always been aggressive regarding the hegemony of U.S. dollar and reserve currency. Since the beginning of the decade, but especially in the recent years, China put all import out into come from countries outside the OPEC, which made 60% of the global China crude import between 2012 and 2016. We all know the money, money talks, so let's hear what he has to say. In 2012, Saudi Arabia completely enjoyed a 20% share of China's crude import, with Russia trailing far behind with around 7%. Fast forward to May 2017, when Russia is now the main exporter of oil to China, and Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter, lead the fall in percentage, with China down more than 15%. Okay, I will not read the rest of the article because you get the picture and you can read the article by yourself. What I can see regarding that now, United States Biden administration could have a conflict or beef with Saudi Arabia, and now Saudi Arabia already start a process to either switch the petrodollar to petroleum or uh, and to build rig oil in China. And Biden tried to reach the, the Prince of Saudi Arabia lately, but he does not return his call because he seemed to be angry with Biden, and probably in the next few weeks, month, it was switched from petrodollar to petro euro. And all the leverage United States had the last 50 years, they lose the leverage. And the problem uh, they have a huge debt. One, most of the debts are owned by China. And if they lose the leverage and they have a huge debt, also you have to mix the backlash against Russia. The inflation will continue to rise, and more people, and the value of the dollar will decline, and people will continue to put their money in crypto. And that's a side effect of all the decision the United States did the last few years and the conflict they have with different countries. So now I guess the rules will come back to the rules. So that's another reason more people will invest in crypto. Okay, so maybe one more article. Then session for today. Actually, I will read two more articles. Okay, this article, the last few months, the Biden administration tried to go after the citizen, basically, try to go to ask the IRS to go to citizen bank account, but people and some politician push back. But Biden tried another way. He tried to push the agency to uh, and corporation like PayPal and then need to report the payment of $600 and more. So let me read the article quickly. Venmo, PayPal, and other payment apps have to tell the IRS about your side hustle if you make more than $600 a year. The agency does not care how much you split check or payment app, but you want to know about the Airbnb income. The sign of the door for address will read cash only, please. I want sure that suspect the reason behind the change and they accept for payment may have something to do with the income reporting requirement in the past. Payment options include apps such as Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. To help identify tax cheat, the IRS on January 1st start requiring all third-party payment processing state to report payments you have for good single offices or more a year. This is going to be jarring change for some self-employed gig worker and people with side hustle. Well, you say now everyone should pay the tax they all could be part of the argument on this. For others who use such payment platform for personal gain, there are nothing to worry about. The government has been looking for way to close the tax gap by making more transactions with IRS. Say Eric Brown McCann, the head of tax for online financial advertising. Later boasted loud about wish to make order for to and report the tax income. Okay, this article finished the article. The important point about this is now the government is going after the citizen. Okay, we understand. Maybe a few may not pay the tax or the entire tax, but the problem with that, the government IRS citizen they don't go after the big corporation, and that alone pisses off a lot of people. And for that reason, people will continue to go to crypto because crypto, first of all, you don't need to convert crypto to fiat currency. You can stay on the crypto world. Second of all, that's for the most part that's a decentralized technology. So that's mean the technology does not belong to anyone. And uh, if using a crypto wallet on your cell phone, computer, whatever, that application belongs to you, and no one have access to your crypto, and that's anonymous. So that's a good thing for that. So people will find a way because the government try to control everything and us the citizen. and people are fed up with that. Now, let me read me one more article. Okay, I'm not going to read the article, the entire article. So, but, U.S. Congress gave final approval to 13.6 billion of Ukraine aid via US Super Barbara will provide 6.5 billion to